It's Thursday night, 9:05. I can mean only one thing. You are on the road south, and you're on the road south to the AFC South with your three friendly Colts fans. Um, like always, we're trying to do something that Chris Bell I can't do, and that's win the AFC South. And joining me today are the usual gang, Ed and Nathan. I will start with you, Ed, because I usually start with Nathan. How is life? How is things? Are you excited? More excited about the Colts quarterback battle, or the fact you have no kicker going into next year?
Oh, I don't know. Can we? Is that the battle that we never realised we needed? The kicker battle. Everyone's going on about the quarterback battle. In actual fact, it's the kicker battle is what's going to win it. Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks for asking. I hope you are well. I hope everybody else is as well. Excited that the schedule's been released. But as you said, it is a long slog now to start the season.
Yeah, and Nathan, I can't say it. The calendar has been released.
Yep.
We'll get a bit about onto the naughty Colts and what happened there. We'll get onto that. But how are you? How's Wales? Sunny as England?
Mate, this is uncalled for how warm it is in Wales right now. We're not used to this, you know. We're used to green grass and rain and grey, but there's an orange ball of light in the sky every day, and I'm wearing shorts. I mean, what's going on? But yeah, I'm good, man. The Colts have been posting Anthony Richardson throwing air balls to nobody, and now I'm excited again. And there's people analysing his throwing style and his footwork and stuff off of a 10-second video. So I'm fully down the rabbit hole of watching people do that. Maybe shows how sad I am in reality, and how much I want Richardson to win the quarterback battle. But yes, I agree. I love the draft. I love schedule release, but now it just feels like a little bit of a long wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're all experts in throwing arms and mechanics now, aren't we? I suppose after he's been to his guru, we're all trying to see, is he going to be the answer? Stuff we can talk about later. So let's get right into the main issue. The Noily Fun League strikes again. I mean, on a serious note, on a very serious note, I cannot speak for the experiences of a black man getting unnecessarily detained by police officers, and I understand the contentious issue in America about that. On the real note, it was just funny. It was a funny little joke, and I personally don't think Tyreek Hill would be upset about that. I'd actually like Tyreek Hill, if he did go and score a 70-yard screaming TD against us, to take the mick out of that, because as sports, it should be a safe environment to have a bit of banter. I didn't think it was egregious, but again, I don't know the experiences and real life problems in America and how they see things. What did you guys think?
Yes, agree on the first point. I'm not in a position to obviously comment on the serious side of it, because it's not my place to say. I do think Tyreek Hill's responded to the video, I think, hasn't he? On X. I think he put a post up saying should have kept it up or something like that. Check it out. I think he has responded.
I'll check.
I think, because I agree with you, Harrison, 100%, but I also cannot believe that that's got through how many layers of vetting these things must have to go through in the building, and somebody's pushed it out, and then somebody's gone, oh, actually, this probably isn't a good idea. Like, I don't understand that process. And also, how do you use Minecraft but not sort of seek permission? I just find that really basic. I really do. Like I said, I don't know how many people are in the bit. Like, social media is such a big thing now, and it's real jobs, and obviously legal things. You have to be really careful what you put out in the public eye and everything like that. I can't believe that with the money that the Indianapolis Colts have got and the team of legal experts and social media managers, that how many people looked at that, signed it off, put it live, and then someone's gone, actually, that's probably not a good idea, and you've had to delete it. Like, I mean, how amateur is that? Like, that's the bit that I get. Like, I'm just like, either stick with it and just ride it out, or don't publish it. I think this just looks. I don't know, man. I just don't know what you think, Nathan.
I am going to just stick to the sporting kind of side of this, because I think you guys have said it better than I can. And I don't feel like we need to repeat it, but I just think it's very Colts to not get an AFC South divisional game week 1 and then fire up the opposing team's best player. That's like so indie Colts. Like, we finally get a chance to, win week 1, and then Tyreek Hill's come into town with a chip on his shoulder. I know the last time we played the Dolphins, we absolutely smothered Tariq. I believe we kept him to sub 30 yards. But yeah, I mean, if you're a betting man, Reek over 100 week 1.
And worst times playing the Dolphins as well, when they're all fit and healthy, like week 1.
It's just like it's funny, and I think we live in a day and age now where you can't be funny in the sporting world, and it's this and it's that, and we see it over here with Miles Lewis Skelly doing the Haaland celebration. Everyone going overboard because they know it stays relevant and clips and content. But I have no problem with him doing that. I also have no problem with Haaland coming back to the Emirates, scoring and throwing it back at him. This is what elite sport should be about. Like, but you're right, Ed. How has it got through so many people? And then they've gone, maybe we shouldn't do that. Like, it's just pure calamity Colts, isn't it?
Good way of putting it.
Have you responded, Nathan, out of curiosity?
He has. Ed was exactly right. He tweeted to say that the coach should have kept the tweet up. He thought it was really, really funny. Yeah. And then he's posted a second reply to it where it's him closing his laptop and saying that's the only W the Colts are going to get. So
brilliant.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of heat in the replies about that, but Reek is a pretty good trash talker. So yeah, bring it on. We now have Travarius Ward, so I can't wait to see fired up Reek against the fired up Travarius. So yeah, week 1 will be drama.
And to your point there, Harrison, because I agree with you about the giving it and taking it. I think that's part of what should make sports. Obviously, as long as it's all, there's a difference between banter and abuse. Clearly, we know that, and banter is a big part of it. I don't know if either of you have seen because I haven't watched. I must admit, I haven't watched every single schedule release video, but I did see the bit of the Chargers video where they kind of took the piss out of the Colts a little bit, where they had the quarterbacks lined up in sort of Mario Kart style carts, and Richardson spins out, and then there's the Pat McAfee stand like box on the side, and it's empty, like nobody in it. And it's like, well, that's kind of funny. Like, I can take that as a joke. That's objectively, I found that relatively amusing. And I hope that our team, like you just said there about Tyreek, I hope they've looked at that and gone, okay, we'll notch that, and we're coming for you. Like, that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
I think I'll add to that point as well. Before we move on, I've always struggled to understand the scoring respect element of the sport. Mm-hmm. Like when teams kind of put 35 on someone, they stop. I don't understand that. And I remember pretty famously last season, Dan Campbell saying, we're going to absolutely destroy you for 4 quarters. I'll never be a head coach in the National Football League, but if I was, you best believe that's how I'd be coaching. Like, I want to whoop ass for 60 minutes every down I want to score on, and it's the same in any sport, I guess. I want my teams to to really put it on people. That's what elite sportsmen and women should be able to do these days. You know, you work your whole life for it. Go whoop some ass. You know.
Absolutely. And as fans, you should have to carry the scars and enjoy the triumphs. You've got
Completely.
You've got to carry the scars of losing 8-2 to Man United and being embarrassed. You've got to carry the scars of going out of the Champions League, but then you enjoy a semi-league final. Do you know what I mean? You've got to take the low hits and go, oh, God. And then because you remember that, because then it makes it even better when you do go and win a Super Bowl. You know, all this time that we've been through crap quarterbacks in the past 10 years or whatever it is. Well, eventually, when we go and win a Super Bowl, we're going to look back at this and go, okay, Anthony Richardson was the building block, or it all changed from this point, and that's what it should be about.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know you won't be able to relate to this year, Harrison, but you know, we've won a cup this year, so you know, I like your Super Bowl analogy there, because I know what that feels like as a Newcastle fan this year. So, and that's the first time in my life I've been able to make that joke. So let me have it.
Congratulations on your energy drink cup. It's not even the best energy drink either. Like, I'll give it. I'll let you have it because 70 years is a long time to go without a trophy.
Moving on.
On to key dates. Anything on the schedule stick out to you, boys?
Do you mind if I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it, mate.
The first 4 games. Honestly, you know me, boys. I'm always going to play the realist. Let me ask you: do the Colts win any of their first 4 games this year? For any viewers who have not seen, it's Miami week 1, away to Denver week 2, Titans home week 3, Rams home week 4.
We win all 4.
I love it. I love that optimism. Ed?
Yeah, I do. I think mainly because we've just had a discussion on X before we came on here, but I'm going to have to back it now and say we beat the Denver Broncos, because I'm led to believe that one of their podcasters just said that they're going to beat us. So I'm just going to come straight back at them and say we'll beat them. Man, that's not the easiest opening 4 games. I do agree. Divisional rival. The Rams, man. The Rams are a sneaky pick for the Super Bowl this year. I'm telling you, that's
Absolutely.
a tough team. That's a really tough team. Denver, as much as I just said we're going to beat them, their defense is. And the Dolphins week 1. I think we can come out of that with a 2-2. Genuinely, I don't think Harrison. I love your optimism of 4-0, man. And I'm with you, 4-0 all day, baby. But I think pragmatically, I think we can come out of that with a 2-2. I think that's feasible. I do. What do you think, Nathan?
I think we win week 1. Any Miami fans watching, come chat shit on the show to me and tell me why I'm wrong. I think Denver's a tough game away as well. You know, playing in altitude's tough. They spanked us last year too. Cam Ward, you know, AFC South kind of has a taste of it. That's a tough game to call, and Rams is hard. I mean, yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go safe, because I think if we go 3-1, we are laughing. We are like laughing ourselves to the Super Bowl, really, because if we go 3-1, we're going all the way.
Famously, every team that starts well wins the Super Bowl. I would say 2-2's minimum. I would say if we come out of that 1-3, I think it's going to be a 1-goal season, boys. I cannot lie to you. We should definitely beat the Titans. Cam Ward, regardless, we should definitely beat the Titans. Denver, a good defense, but when I watched them last season, the offense was really. They weren't good. We were just crap.
I agree with that.
we need to win at week 1 at some point.
Yeah.
Week 1 at some point, don't we? It needs to happen just by statistical chances. It needs to happen at some point. So that's what I'm banking on, really. But the one that stood out to me was, what was it? I think it was in our WhatsApp group. It's not necessarily a game, but we only have one primetime game.
Yeah.
Deservedly so as well. I'm not saying we deserve more. Deservedly so. We only have one primetime game, which is good for us three because that means more 6 o'clock games. And obviously the Germany game, the Berlin game, I believe it's the 10th November. Is that right?
The 9th. Very
9th.
close to 9th. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you two are going, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yes, I'm gonna do my best. Obviously, work and everything like that comes into it. But yeah, that's the plan at the moment as things stand in May. I think I'm excited for both of those games. I'm very excited for. I think the Berlin game in particular, I think is going to be incredible. As a proud Englishman, the last time I saw my team play in Berlin was obviously that heartbreaking Euros defeat to Spain. So I'm massively hoping for more luck this time when I see a team I like playing in Berlin. And also with you, Harrison, that Monday night game, I'm looking forward to that because it's Christmas week as well. So that debate, whether you stay, I will stay up because it's Christmas week because I don't really, it's Christmas because you don't sleep at Christmas anyway. So my only concern with that is it's week 16. So depending how the season goes, it could get flexed out.
Yeah, true. Actually, very true.
Very much so.
Only because San Francisco shit the bed, not because of us. Obviously, we'll be on the charge by then. Exactly, yeah. It's because they don't want to watch us steamroll San Francisco. But yeah, those ones stick out for me. I also, talking of curses, would like to see us win in Jacksonville.
Nice.
It's getting to the point now where I think we might as well just start 0-2 every year, not bother with an opening game and not bother going to Jacksonville. Just go 0-2 and just go for and just start from there because it's starting to get a bit ridiculous.
Have you guys seen what we could potentially call let's call it the kryptonite game? And I'll see if you know what I mean before I elaborate on that.
I can't say.
So, the king of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, has never beat the Indianapolis Colts. And we play them at Arrowhead on November 23rd, so week 12. We will be fresh off a bye week. Does he beat us, or do we go into Arrowhead and really upset the apple cart?
That's just made me think of Andrew Luck. I think that is my memory of Arrowhead.
Yeah.
The AFC, was it the wildcard game or champion divisional game or something like that? He doesn't like playing the Colts, does he? For some mental reason, he just. And we know as Colts fans ourselves even though it's all bollocks, what jinxes and curses and fate and destiny can do. Like when you are that team who hasn't won somewhere in so many years, or hasn't won against a team in so many years, it does become a bit of a mental thing.
I need to correct myself as well. I misread the colour coordination of the schedule. We're actually home, away. So we've got Miami and Denver home, and then we're 2 weeks on the road, Tennessee and LA. So I'd love 2-2 even more in that regard. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to correct myself for anybody watching.
I mean, that's all I have on the schedule. It's not something I really pay too much attention to. You know, my philosophy, boys. We're 17 and on until we're not. One other thing I did forget to mention at the top of the show is a very exciting team in Indiana who are in the Eastern Conference Finals for a second straight year with arguably the most overrated player in the league, Tyrese Halliburton. Well, I stayed up to watch Game 5. Basketball is... I've been watching it going, fuck me, how did it do that? Like, I can't hit a free throw. So when I'm watching Tyrese like drop it from near half court for a 3 points, I'm just like, how do you just? It was mad to me watching that, and like we were down 20, and the Pacers have got me excited in basketball again. I just wanted to put that out there. But they do boys.
I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't watched it. I've been following it, religiously, because it's just so cool that a team in the city is actually like on the road to potentially win something. Like the Colts really need to take a little bit of inspiration from that. But yeah, it's just cool for this, for the city and the city that we, obviously the three of us love and kind of put blood, sweat, and many tears into. It's cool that they might have a chip. So yeah, they're go Pacers,
Ed, any interest in basketball?
Yes and no. I don't follow it, but I have been watching the Pacers. I don't watch the games. I watch the they put the highlights up on YouTube. So when I get up in the morning, because they're on overnight, I usually stick it on before I go online and ruin myself with the result. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed it, to be fair. Like you say, the way they drop those 3 points here, it's just disgusting, to be honest with you. The accuracy and the clinicalness, I don't know if that's a word, but the way they just like step back, it's disgusting. Like I haven't, it's cool to watch. I must admit, I prefer. I like the old slam dunks. Like when they go up and properly like pull the hoop off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like basketball. I don't religiously follow it, but I've got a passing interest.
Same, and I think I was trying to. I was going to lead it to a big question: is the Indiana Pacers a few years ago? Like I say, don't follow them religiously, so anyone watching, feel free to correct. But they had a team that was sort of not cohesive, not really going anywhere, sort of going around in circles. Looking for a star player, and they did a sort of a medium reset. They traded for Tyrese Halliburton. They went and got Pascal Siakam. There is definitely lessons there, right? I'm not sure what they are, so I'm not got anything great to bring to you. But there's definitely lessons there that Chris Ballard could maybe get on the phone and speak to their GM and even speak to Rick Carlisle, who's now the most winning it. He's had the most playoff wins or something in Pacers history as a coach, over Larry Bird, who those will know is quite a legend. There's some lessons there. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what else to say. I apologise, but there was a bigger question I had, but I sort of forgot.
No, I think
go on, Ed. Sorry, go on. You. No, I think I know what you're trying to say. It's like the kind of no risk, no reward, right? And I think we've seen that, and it's become, QB purgatory before Anthony. We lived that. It was horrendous. And sometimes you kind of have to, and people will say, Ballard did make trades, obviously he trades for Wentz, he trades for Ryan. The player that he didn't trade for because he shit out of it was Matthew Stafford. That was on the table. Stafford was open to it, but Ballard wouldn't pay the price, right? I think that's where you're trying to get to, Harrison.
Yeah.
I'll hand over to Ed there.
I think you're right. Kind of exactly what I was going to say. I think everything's just very safe, isn't it, with Chris Ballard? Everything, and you kind of felt maybe there was a change this off-season with the way he kind of attacked free agency, and maybe that's the pressure of you have to win. You know, I don't want to say the Colts are in win now mode, but they can't just keep kind of bumbling along. Like every list that the NFL ever put up, doesn't matter what it is, the Colts will always be in that middle bracket, like just mid for everything, aren't they? Like, do you know what I mean? Like everything about it just seems to be very not bad enough, not good enough, just bumbling along in that sort of middle area. And it's very difficult to kind of get out of that because, and what I mean, everything, like I say, everything just seems very safe. So I think to break out of that, you need to take a few chances, maybe take a few swings. They did, you know, you could argue they did that with Richardson, and it hasn't quite paid off yet. But his free agency was slightly different. I know we talked about the draft. I'm not going to go over it again, but we like the draft. We like what he's done there. You know, maybe he has taken some lessons. Harrison, let's stay optimistic. It's May. We've got all winter to get back on the we hate the Colts train. Let's be optimistic for now.
Right. So to get into the next part of the show, that was just a roundup of, like I say, general news, schedule releases. The naughty Colts being in the Northern League, but hey, we go again. So rule changes. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure if it's every year, but I'm pretty sure it's every off season. All NFL GMs and owners get together and discuss rule changes. Some of them are really pedantic, like you can't wear a face guard with yellow stripes on or something like that. Stuff really umpires and referees get hard on over. But some of them are important and do change the game massively. The kickoff rule, etc., etc. So it's up to you guys first. I want your spiciest rule change of how you guys would switch it up a bit, get viewers back in, get people back in seats. So who wants to go first?
I'll let you go, Nath, if you want, mate.
Look, I'll start us off by saying that I am on the side of the room that thinks it's embarrassing that the league considered banning the tush-push play. It is a genius offensive formation made up by head coach Shane Steichen, at least played a huge part in it. And we've just seen like something completely like capitalize red zone football, right? You know, and what we've also seen as well is like teams who can do it, try it. You know, we watch Buffalo try and run two and fail miserably. Whereas when you watch the Eagles run it, it's like watching a rugby match. It's just perfection. You know, you see trench warfare almost, right? Like the fact that the league looked at that and went, oh, we don't have the O-line to do that, so we're going to ban it, is embarrassing. Because, like, you know, maybe I'm like slightly old school, right? But I wouldn't care if every single time the Colts are in the red zone, JT runs it in.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's great to see, you know, fades and back shoulder plays, and you know Shane gets very creative down there. But boys, if we're winning, like if we're putting 35 on teams and JT's scoring every single one of them all year, I'm not going to be complaining. Or if Anthony's running it in every single time to score a touchdown, who is going to complain? I think leave the tush push to the experts and draft linemen who can do it, if that's what you want to do. I think I'll start off with that. I think it is truly embarrassing that GMs got jealous of an O-line playing like something we've not really seen before.
I think I agree, but I think you are a Welshman, and that means you love rugby more than anything.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that.
Callum Wynne-Jones is one of my heroes and role models, mate. I used to want to be him as a second rower, but yeah, things happen. I was nowhere near that level. But yeah, I agree. I think you put up or you shut up. If you can't stop it, that's on you. That is absolutely on you.
Yeah, completely it is.
I've got a rule change. If instead of 5 yards for a false start or a offside, if you get caught doing that one, how's the way to put it? Basically, if you're the team that didn't get flag, so if you're the team that's the victim of the penalty, you get a free kick from 45 yards for 2 points.
Wow. That boosts scores for sure. On offside, you said, yeah? Or holding?
Offsides or false start. So if you...
false start, yeah.
So you're culpable for a false start, the opposition team will get a free kick from 45 yards for 2 points. Because I think you could draw up some real hard counts, and like this that could be a real tactical like battle, I think.
Yeah. I mean, home team advantage would really come in there as well. Like, I'm thinking like Seattle Stadium, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine doing like, 3 cadence hard counts there, just kicking free kicks all game long.
It's the next evolution, mate.
So presumably,
go for it.
Also you lose possession of the ball then by jumping offside straight away.
I hadn't thought of that, but yeah. No, that would be severe.
I tell you what, because you see some death stares, don't you, from head coaches when a lineman goes early, and they get. Could you imagine?
I am under the opinion you should never false start and you should never be caught offside. I'm also aware that people are humans and you can't. Snap counts apart. I've jumped. I watched. Who was it? And the John Gruden, was it Andrew Luck doing his snap? I jumped. I tried playing along. I jumped. So, but I think we're just seeing too many I think it's a lot of laziness from my point of view of just people who just can't be arsed, and it's just lazy to get that sort of. Maybe you could caveat it with if it's in the red zone or if it's on third down, maybe, so you don't just lose the ball straight away.
Yeah. Or like a yellow and red cards, a bit like other type of football where it's like yellow card first attempt, and if it happens again on the same series, then that's it. You've had your opportunity, and yeah, I like that. That'd be interesting. Okay. I mean, I've got a couple. One that bugs me is the kickoff. So I think that I know they've looked at that and they've made changes, the dynamic kickoff and all that jazz, but still, it seemed to me anyway that a lot still were just kind of left to go, and it touch back and they'd start. Is it 35-yard line that they start now? They move it forward from 25, wasn't it? That was the rule. So I think it should be, if you don't attempt to return it, you have to start on your own 10-yard line.
Love it.
To try and force teams into actually trying to return it, because the amount of times that they just leave it, I would like to see. So you there's an incentive to try and return it. So if you don't, like I say, you start further back. You'd like to think that most teams would be able to get further than the 10-yard line.
10 yards. Averagely, get more than 10 yards.
I'd like to think you say. I think that's where obviously that could be pushed back or forward depending, but I think there should be an incentive for actually trying to return a kickoff, and not a punishment, but a kind of like deterrent, if you were, for just leaving it like you start further back. That would be something I would like to look at or implement.
If it went out the back of the end zone, what you're saying is it just normal 35-yard?
Yeah, if it goes out the end zone, if the kicker kicks it and you don't have a chance to return it, then I suppose that's slightly different. And I'd have to think about maybe there'd be a punch.
I get it, because if it goes out the end zone, or you just do what it does if it goes out of play. You flag it. If it bounces in the end zone, it's
Yeah.
a live ball in it. It's a live ball at the kickoff and bounces in the end zone. So
yeah. So I would have something where, again, you'd have to kind of incentivize to stop, because some of these kickers now can kick it for about 400 miles, can't they? So for them, they can quite easily kick it out the end zone. So again, you'd have to probably bring something in to make sure that they weren't doing that. So again, it'd be, I don't know how you would do that. Like they'd maybe have to, if it goes straight out the end zone, the opposition team can start on the 40-yard line or something. So you have to kind of incentivize that return. So they've got to kick it, give them a chance to return. If they don't return it, you start on your 10. Yeah, so it's kind of like a bit of a, going to force your hand a little bit into actually return it. I know there's the safety element of returning kicks, because that is a whole lot of speed these guys are running at and momentum. But I think that there should be more incentive, because otherwise you might as well just let everybody, you might as well do away with the kickoffs and just everyone starts on the 30-yard line. You just start from there. Like,
I fully agree.
I've watched so many games and thought that. So yeah, that's something I'd probably look at.
Essentially, the first 5 minutes of any NFL game is pretty, not, I don't mean actual like clock time, but the first 5 minutes from 6 o'clock to 6:05 is just adverts and kicking it out the back of the end zone.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I fully agree. Nathan.
I have one. I've just been thinking while you guys are chatting through. I would like them to change the rule on declaring an onside kick. Again, I think it's so boring these days that you have to announce that you're going to do it. Yeah. I mean, like, there's nothing cooler, or maybe used to be cooler, than a really close game, and you're thinking to yourself, no way are they going to do it. You know, they're not going to risk it. And then all of a sudden you see this, going to use a rugby term here, you see this grubber bouncing along the grass and, you know, some insane catch or something to get it. So, yeah, I think that has ruined the kind of the mystery and the beauty of the onside kick.
And I think I'm going to break your hearts here, boys, but the onside kick can be very useful for teams and can turn a game on its head. I won't say what game because it's too painful still. But we've seen Pat McAfee. It also brings up, the onside kick brings up amazing variations of how to do it. Pat McAfee kicked it to himself. Amazing. Yeah. You know, was it Rigoberto Sanchez we bought out? I know it didn't work, but he literally just tried pelting it at a player as hard as he could.
I think I remember that game actually. Yeah.
I think it was a while ago. He literally just like his intent was, I'm going to boot this at that player, and I pick comes back towards us. Like, amazing. And I'd never be against a team doing an onside kick, and I think the fact you have to announce it is just the pathetic Americanness of sports where we all have to play fair, man.
Yeah.
And like, nah.
No.
It's almost like taking a penalty and telling the keeper which side you're going.
Yeah.
Like, what? How is it different to that? You know, it just doesn't. Obviously, a penalty is like a way bigger deal than maybe a kickoff is. But yeah, you know, I remember the Lions game deep in the season last year. You know, Campbell looked like he had tears coming down his eyes when he had to, you know, tell the refs that they were doing it. And, you know, we all knew. It's just, I really, really hope they revisit that in the next few seasons.
I'll go with my second rule change then. Get rid of all rules regarding celebrations and taunting. Get rid of them. I want to see, like, especially because we got it's combining rules of celebration, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but I remember, was it last season when Michael Pittman threw up the peace sign as he's running away? Like, we just need to bring back a bit of entertainment value, because it's so robotic. I don't want to say boring because it's not, but it's robotic, and it's referees and umpires love flagging because they can flag on technicalities, and they're never subjective calls, right? They're always right or wrong. And I think with celebrations, I can understand to a certain point, like gun celebrations and how the connotations that brings. But when people are like taunting opponents, just let it run. The grown men, if they can't take a taunt, then you shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, I agree. I think the problem is it's difficult to draw a line, isn't it, as to how much certain people can take, if that makes sense. So I mean, it's like, because I agree. I think there's nothing better. Obviously, different sport, but say you go away, hostile environment, you score a touchdown, you score a goal, stadium's quiet, and you can just stand there and give it the big I am. That's like got to be one of the best feelings.
We've all dreamed of it.
Oh, 100%. Like giving the crowd one of those, or cupping, like, and I think like, and to go back to what we were saying right at the top of the show about sort of giving it and taking it, is that not part of what sport is? Like you say, when you're on top, you crow about it, but when you're on the down, you gotta wear it. But you hold it, and then when it's your turn on to give it again, you give it back in spades. That's to me the essence of what sport is, and I love seeing the players get involved in that, because you know they're the ones living our dreams, aren't they? They're the ones out on the pitch doing it, and you want to see it with a little bit of passion. So yeah, I'm with you on that. But yeah, it's just, I suppose it's difficult to police, because where do you draw the line? Like you say, guns, that kind of stuff. No, you know, I'm just going to flip over to football, Harrison, knowing you're a massive Arsenal fan. Do you remember the famous Adebayor celebration?
Yeah.
Against Arsenal?
I remember it, yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's obviously too much. Like, you can't be doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've got no issues with like players giving it to each other. You're going to let them go and knock 10 bells of shit out of each other, but you can't cup your ear when you score a touchdown. I mean, come on, let's be real.
I get it. I just think maybe it just doesn't need to be a flag.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's just for a independent commission board to do, and it's a fine. The NFL love a fine for some reason. But I just think celebration rules, it just takes a lot of fun out. Like we say, and also if I'm a coach, if I can rattle the opposition team,
100%,
by letting my players taunt him, he's got a bit of a temper him. I'm like, no, you catch it on him, you Randy Moss him, rub it in his face, taunt him. Because if he gets ejected, that's a win for me.
Yep.
I completely agree, and I'm going to mention 3 names now, and I'm hoping you guys know who they are, because they were like the neutral. Obviously, we're not neutral fans. Obviously, we're Colts fans, but like we all have players in the league that we love, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to name 3 now who are trash talkers, taunters, you name it, they do it, right? Mm-hmm. Richard Sherman, Akeem Talib, and Josh Norman. I remember being at a Wembley game watching Redskins Jaguars, and Norman actually got ejected for fighting. The 3 quarters that led up to it, boys, it was like popcorn stuff, you know. You could hear him swearing at the Jags receivers. He was pushing them, you know, really, as you say, Harrison, really like playing up, you know, trying to draw flags and stuff like that. And it's dirty, right? Of course it is. But again, it's part of sport. You know, I think you put it really gracefully, Ed. Like, they're doing what we wish we could be doing, you know, and I think that's all sport. You know, you watch and you think, oh, I wish that was me. And yeah, you know, do we have players like that these days? You know, I know Jalen Ramsey's got a big mouth. You know, Tariq Cheetah, obviously, he's got a pretty big mouth, but as you say, they can't do it anymore. You know, they have to just act. They have to score touchdowns and just act like robots.
And I think the biggest point for me is you're asking humans to be emotionless in high tense, high adrenaline situations. There is a difference between running over to the opposition bench, screaming in the face and punching the air and saying everything under the sun, and looking at someone like Mason Rudolph and saying I should have got hit harder in the head.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? There is something different between that and then just giving it the old knee slide or like giving it the shush or the Hulk Hogan. And I just think, yeah, in a game, which I think this is the thing at the minute with referees, and my big problem with referees in all elite sports, from football to American football, is they just want to referee technicalities because they can't be wrong. And they don't want to have the responsibility of making subjective calls because they don't want to be wrong. And that's that's my big thing at the minute.
That is the sound of a nail being hit firmly on the head there, Harrison. You are absolutely funny there, mate. I literally couldn't agree more with you, mate. Yeah. They want everything to be black and white because it's not just they don't want to be wrong, but they can't be asked with the likes of us spending all week slagging them off for looking at it and going, I don't agree with you. I could not agree more with you, mate.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, there's one other that I was thinking about, and then it's kind of piggybacking off what Nathan was saying about sort of declaring the onside kick. I'd like to see, again, just thinking of the Detroit Lions and some of the stuff they do where their linemen sort of declare themselves as eligible receivers, but you have to obviously let the referee know, don't you? Which, again, I'd like to see that removed because, again, it kind of gives the opposition an inkling of what you're looking to do. So it's kind of, and we don't need to labour the point because we've just discussed it about the onside kick. But I suppose just getting rid of that, all declaring what you're going to do. If we want to say, right, we're going to throw the ball to Big Q, we don't want him to have to declare that to the referee because that tells the opposition what we're potentially looking at doing. I don't think you should have to do that. I think if we want to do something stupid, then you shouldn't have to declare it. So yeah, get rid of all declarations.
I like it because, like you say, it's just really if a 6'7", 300-pound lineman somehow sneaks downfield after pancaking his block, because he'd have to pancake his block first.
Yeah.
Then you catch the ball, and you're not ready for it. That's on your defense. That's not my offense.
Yep.
Well, they had that ridiculous game. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. It might have been the year before when the Lions played the Cowboys and they scored a touchdown, didn't they? And then it got overturned because they said that the lineman never declared himself as eligible. And I was just like, that's just, like you said, Harrison, how is the defense not figured out that you've got this absolute giant of a man like running at you? Like
it's re-refereeing the game.
Yeah.
That's my problem. It is re-refereeing the game. I don't want to get into the English side of VAR and all that jazz in a minute because it's just too much and we could do 10 hours on it. But I think, like we say, and I don't want to keep hitting it home, but the big problem with rules is most of them are technicalities and it's just bollocks. Nathan, any more?
No, I'm happy to leave it there. I'm gonna just stand on my my small hill of the tush push. I'm all out.
Yeah, I agree. Mainly because I think the Colts could that could be a play that we could actually get quite good at.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the players we've got the ingredients to not do it as well as Philly, but we've got the ingredients there where we could run a similar version of that play ourselves, I think. So yeah, don't ban it. They'll wait till we get it, then they'll ban it.
There is one sort of wild card rule that I would like. I think every team should have to field one average joy per game for one snap.
What, just like a normal person?
Yeah, in any position they want, just a normal person. They have to field them for one snap per game because and this comes from my own pettiness of thinking someone like Trey Sermon is a slow person at running. I know he's not. But to the other elite athletes and running backs we have, he looks dead slow. So stick me there at running back, because then when I don't even get a yard, I'll lose yards in a handoff situation. I can go, okay, I'll shut up. I'll shut up talking about him. Yeah, so I just, it would be funny. I know it's not going to happen. It was a bit of a joke, but I would love to like line up for a play just to get absolutely walloped, to go, okay, I'm not going to speak bad about anyone in the league.
I think the only way on God's green earth that I would do that is if I could be like the long snapper or something, or like or a kicker, or just There's no way on God's green earth that anybody's handing me the ball in the NFL to try and run it, because you'd be burying me.
I think we'd see a lot less people calling out players, which is quite funny, including myself. I don't exclude myself from that. I mean, that's about it. I don't really have anything else. Like we said, we've got plenty of time to discuss plenty of things, gents. Iterate again, go Pacers. Hopefully you win the Eastern Conference. We'll be cheering you on. And hopefully you can inspire something about the Indianapolis Colts. If you've been watching this show, there's no secret we are Colts fans, but we do take on the AFC South. We're trying to win it first before our team do. So if you are a rival fan, come and give us shit, because like we said, that's what it's all about. We need to be able to just give each other shit without it meaning anything. The Colts will go 17-0 with Riley Leonard as their QB1. I'm convinced. No, I'm not, but it's a long way to go, folks. It's a long slog for the preseason. I'm struggling to make a hard exit. So I've been Harrison. This has been Southbound. Nathan, Ed, thank you so much, and see everyone later.
Cheers, guys.